First carry for Christian McCaffrey. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 29.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Now it's Newton. And he whips that one incomplete there. Curtis Samuel, the intended target, and it's 3rd and 4.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4. Now Newton. And he finds a man. It's McCaffrey. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Give him 7 yards on the play as they do pick up the 3rd down conversion. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll run with McCaffrey. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Give him 10 there, good enough for a Panther 1st down.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in the paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone?
1st and 10 at the 15-yard line.
Set. Right at the 8. 53. Down to lose 1.
Back to the ground on 1st. It's McCaffrey. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. The impressive opening drive continues and just space being created by those guys up front.
We're seeing this the same way, aren't we? We are seeing an offensive line, as this game gets started, as it starts to unfold, that they are dominating the line of scrimmage.
And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game. It's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
It's a loss of 1.
In the backfield, standing alone here on 2nd and goal is Davis. He's going to get it running right. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive...
And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. Christian McCaffrey taking it in. And the Panthers take it right down and score on the opening drive. Quite the drive there to get things started. They took up the bulk of the first quarter, and they end up in the end zone.
And I love your last point. Ended up in the end zone. Because a lot of teams like those long drives, especially to keep their offense off the field, right? Keep the ball away from them. But they finished it with a touchdown. That's the exclamation point. Now, flip it over defensively. They've got to slow that down somehow, right? Maybe they need to be a little more aggressive. Maybe a few more pressures towards the quarterback.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Here's carry number 1 for Jordan Howard. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Running with Howard. He'll have a first down past the 40. And he'll take it to the 43-yard line. Philadelphia picking up the first on a gain of 15. A good run by Jordan Howard, and now another 1st and 10. Now Wentz. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. And it's knocked away and incomplete. He was trying to find Deshaun Jackson that time. And now it's 2nd down. So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Trying the right side with Howard. Just a couple there on the 2nd down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size and these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
It's an Eagles first down on a gain of 11. So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Wentz now to throw, and he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. K1 short with a sack. That's 315 pounds of man right there. From midfield, here's Wentz. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Wentz going to throw.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say, when you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And certainly they'll be hoping to hit pay dirt like they did on the last drive. Got the football back, so a chance to go up 2 scores.
And they haven't been tentative at all in this ball game because sometimes you start a game with your script to try and get information out of the opposing defense. How will they play you in certain situations? Sometimes you script to attack, and that's what I'm seeing so far.
2 minutes on the clock, 2nd quarter, 7-0 ball game. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Jonathan Coachman. He's in Orlando, and he'll have our EA Sports halftime report. Give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
From the 38, Newton, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Fletcher Cox, the former Mississippi State Bulldog, ringing the cowbell there on the sack. 3rd and long, it's Newton. And he's got the hook up to Moore. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a 1st down.
They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th.
1st and 10.
Here we go. Back to the 3, 20.
On 1st and 10, Newton. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Moore. The Panthers going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. To the air again, Newton. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32.
I don't even know why this team showed up.
Throwing again. Newton. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions. 3rd down here in 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Now the Panthers going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. No move to get the offense off the field here. They've converted once on this drive. On 4th, they'll go again and try it once more. He's going to rifle one deep left side. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by Nate Gehring. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. That's fielded in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. 27 yards there, a first down. So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. James Bradbury, he was right there to break it up. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. On the give, running right is Howard. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. And Jeffrey's got it. They'll get 34 yards there.
They're still looking for their first touchdown of the game, and for a second, I thought they had it right there.
Looking on the sideline, it's finally good to see nods of approval as a welcomes under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Gerald McCoy picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up...
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. An 18-yard touchdown grab as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Elliott good on the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So all square here in this third quarter as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And now nothing but green ahead of him. 30. Touchdown, Carolina. From end zone to end zone, it's a 106-yard return. And the Panthers have taken the lead.
Well, he made the right choice by result, but a little bit surprising because now with touchbacks coming back to the 25 instead of the 20, when guys fielded that deep in the end zone, I think most coaches want them to take a knee.
Yeah, it's resulted in more kneel downs. Not right there. This is taken about 7 yards deep. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Wentz. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Shaq Thompson making his presence felt on the sack. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Newton looking to throw on 3rd and 1. And he's got his target. That's Moore. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Give him 18. It's a Carolina first down. Now, this will probably be the last play of the quarter. Now with toss, this is McCaffrey. So both teams trade touchdowns in the third as we're through 3 quarters of play. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
53 is the mic. 53 is the mic.
Newton. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
First down and goal to go.
Now a give, right side McCaffrey. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. A 10-yard touchdown run. And the Panthers, they widen their lead.
Well, 3 scores in this game. I think that deserves some type of a broad gesture. I know in hockey, that's called a hat trick, and people throw their hats out on the ice. What about us? What can we do for this guy?
Well, if I'm his teammates, I'm buying him a little steak dinner tonight, right? At least a skirt steak, probably a filet.
Oh, you're going big. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, skirt at minimum, filet at maximum.
You can't give the guy a skirt steak his first 3 times. There you go.
10-ounce, 16-ounce.
Porterhouse.
Fine. The Eagles' offense set to begin their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. But they're looking for it now.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. K1 short, able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Throwing his Wentz, and he's going to go down again. Bruce Irvin in there to drop him, and sacks on 1st and 2nd downs. Now leads to a 3rd and long. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. Throwing now is Wentz. Well, the 2 men come together and